Baby, let me be your loving teddy bear. Put a chain around my neck and lead me anywhere. Let me be.
Fozzie Bear was born in Leeds, England in 1957. As a young cub, Fozzie had always held on to one dream: to become a comedy actor. Fozzie's early acting career began when he was just 13, performing in various productions at the Leeds Grand Theatre, often to rave reviews. But one critic, writing for the Daily Telegraph, wrote a scathing review of Fozzie's portrayal of Macbeth after just one show. "A hired assassin couldn't have murdered Shakespeare more successfully than what I've just witnessed. This was a tragedy far beyond what Britain's greatest playwright ever imagined it could be. I reserve my last words in this article for the frankly horrific portrayal of Macbeth himself, played by a talentless ursine bastard called Fozzie. How on earth can you take him seriously? He's a damn bear in a hat." But far from discouraged, Fozzie knew that he had to make it big or live forever in regret. He left behind everything and decided to move to America in search of his lifelong dream. Fozzie described his decision to move away from his family and friends at an early age in a 2004 interview with Michael Parkinson.
Fozzie Bear, you've led an eventful life, but the real turning point was your decision to travel to America in search of bigger things. What was going through your mind at that point in time?
Well, I just needed to get away from it all. Theatre acting paid well enough and was great for a time, but the critics just got to me, you know. It's fine when they say things about your performance, but when they start criticising your species and saying stuff like bears can't act, then they've gone too far. It's as if they don't think us bears have feelings, you know, Michael.
Oh, yes.
Fozzie quickly found a place to live in New York, but found it hard getting work in a big city that didn't have time for bears in silly hats. He soon found himself unable to pay the rent and quickly ended up as a beggar on the streets. Whilst performing one of his typical busking routines one day in 1977, a 20-year-old Fozzie Bear caught the eye of a man called Ted Spleeny, who took him in, gave him a place to stay, and introduced him to Jim Henson.
"Yeah, man, there was just this bear, just on the street, dancing. He had just a hat on, and he was just dancing. I couldn't let him throw his dignity away like that, so I took this guy in. I gives him water, I gives him money, and what do I get in return? I lent this guy $100 30 years ago. Haven't seen the bastard since."
Henson told Fozzie Bear he was destined for great things, and he wasn't wrong. In 1979, Henson produced The Muppet Movie, which brought together talented animals from all walks of life, including Fozzie. While some public criticism was aimed at Henson for describing his low-budget actors as Muppets, the animals themselves got on well with him and were happy working for him, especially Fozzie, who Henson always thought of as his favourite. The movie roles came thick and fast for Fozzie, but under contract with Henson, he was not allowed to act in anything that wasn't solely a Muppet production. 3 more Muppet movies were filmed between 1981 and 1990, but it was after the completion of Muppet Treasure Island, arguably Fozzie's best performance, that things began to turn sour. Throughout his acting career with Henson, Fozzie had coped with the restrictive schedule with a combination of drink, drugs and sex, and by the time he had hit 40, his private life was all over the papers. Security footage of Fozzie snorting cocaine in his dressing room had also found its way into the wrong hands, and the once much-loved bear was now on a slippery slope. Due to Fozzie's off-camera exploits, his relationship with Jim Henson's son, Brian, who had taken over his father's company after his death in 1990, deteriorated, and as a result found himself excluded from the upcoming television show Muppets Tonight. This is the actual phone call made to Brian Henson by drug-fueled Fozzie on hearing that he was not to be given a part in Henson's new television show.
F*** you, Henson. F*** you. I don't want anything more to do with you. You son of a bitch. Screw your f***ing show and screw you. I don't f***ing need you, Henson. I don't f***ing need you.
Fozzie's drug problems were taking over, and his lowest ebb came when he was filmed by a freelance cameraman outside a New York nightclub. After Fozzie was refused entry to the club for being too drunk, he hit out at the cameraman, beating him unconscious. The man spent 5 days in a coma, as Fozzie was found guilty of assault and given an 18-month sentence. Hey Fozzie, you muppet.
What did you fucking say?
Forced to give up his drink and drug habits, Fozzie left prison a different bear. He was even given another chance by Brian Henson, who cast him in both Muppets in Space and 2 further Muppet television features. Fozzie was once again popular among fans everywhere. Unfortunately, the punishing filming schedule and intrusion of Fozzie's privacy forced him back into his old routine, and soon the drink and drugs were flowing again. By the end of 2006, Fozzie Bear was off the radar completely, shutting himself away from the public eye to indulge in copious drug use. On the 15th of January 2007, Fozzie Bear was found by police hanging from the lampshade in his basement. He was 49.
I don't wanna be a tiger, 'cause tigers play too rough. I don't wanna be a lion, 'cause lions ain't the kind you love enough. But there's a woman